Hello! Welcome back to episode 4, where we're going to be looking at how to make some traps for your game, like this one, and this one. Sounds like fun? Then keep watching to see how I made them. Okay, and welcome back to episode 4, where we're going to be looking at some traps. Now, if you've been following along with the episode so far, then today's episode should be a breeze, as we're going to be using all the same stuff we've learnt so far, just giving it some new applications. Now, since the last episode, I've added to the map a little bit with these little podiums of dirt here, and I've also added a little invisible box around the entire map. So if I turn off the transparency for these, or make it 0.5, you can see it nicely encloses the game world. The only reason to do that is so that this will then stop anyone walking off the map. And it also means that when we've got these traps down here, or these pits, if we fall down them, we're just going to fall onto the floor for now. So we're not actually going to fall completely off the game world yet. Now, why have we done that? Well, we don't want the player just to fall to their death. We actually want to add our own traps in. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a wedge. And we're going to add in our first script of the day. Now, as I said, it's going to be very familiar, this one. We're going to call it function spike attack. Now I just got it spike, and it'll have this part touching parameter it will expect. And then this function will be called by script.parent.touched, and then we'll connect the spike function. Now we need to check first of all that it's the player touching, so we'll say if part touching dot parent, which is the model. So if I go in and play now, of course, the parent of that part would be this gnome code model, and then we want to look for find first child, and we'll look for this humanoid object. This is our way of ensuring that it's the player. And then we're going to go and change the property of the health to 0. And if you do that, well, it kills off your player, as you'd expect. So if part touching dot parent find first child brackets humanoid, then we need to say part touching dot parent dot humanoid dot health equals 0, and that is all we need to write. And then we'll change the name of this to spike, and we're going to duplicate that into this little pit here at the bottom, and we can copy and paste that over into here as well. Let's move this over a little bit just so it has room. There we go. And if I go in and play now, well, we've got all our coins as usual. We can pick them up. And then over here, we've got these spikes that we need to jump over. And if we fall in, it's going to kill our player. Now, I think we might not have anchored these. So yeah, let's check. Yeah, they're not anchored. So we'll just anchor these quickly. So I just noticed one of them moved there. But that's not really too great a trap, as well, the player is quite obvious that they need to jump over these. But how about we add something a little bit less obvious? So we'll add some more spikes in here, and it's going to be a slightly bigger one this time. How about we provide a little bridge for the player? So we'll put this bridge in here. So currently this is all going to be anchored, but when the player touches it, we're going to unanchor that part. So we'll copy and paste that script from the spikes and put it onto our part here. Let's rename this bridge so we can remember. We'll paste that in. And instead of changing the health of the player, we're going to say script.parent.anchored equals false. Let's go ahead and test that. While we're testing, we can just move the spawn point. So we'll move the spawn point all the way over here. Go in and test. We've got our spikes down here. We'll jump over them. And then we've got our bridge. If we run over here, it's going to fall in. And so we've got a bit of a problem here in that the bridge, although it collapses, is still kind of saved us. So what we might want to do is head back into our script. Nope, that's the spike one. We need the bridge, don't we? Where's the bridge? There it is. The bridge script. And then why don't we also make script.parent.canCollide equals false. So there won't be any collisions happening. It should just fall through the map then. We'll go ahead and test that now. Jump over these ones here, and oh no, what a shame. Let's just check that we can actually get over this. Yeah, if you time your jumps well enough, you can jump over it. So that's our second trap done. How about we add a third trap in here? We're not going to do any spikes this time. We'll lure the player into a bit of a false sense of security. And up here, we'll add in a explosion. How about that? Am I still within our box area? Yeah, we've got loads of room in this little box. And I'm going to add in a explosion if you touch a little hut here. How about that? So we'll move this in. Okay, so that's our little structure done. You could make something a bit simpler if you wanted, but that's what I've ended up going for. We're going to move this along a little bit more. And inside here, we're going to add in another part, which is going to detect the player. So we'll put this on the floor inside here. And we'll probably place it about there. And we're going to make this invisible. We're going to make it anchored, and we're going to turn off the collisions because you want the player just to hit it. And we're going to add in we're going to copy that bridge script into here. Paste that in. And this time, when the player touches it, well, we're going to add in an explosion. We're going to put instance.new, and instance.new takes two arguments, a value and its parent. So we're going to put explosion for what we want to add, and then we're going to make its parent to be this. So we say script.parent will be its parent. We'll give that a variable so we can access it. We'll put local explosion equals, and then we can say explosion.position equals script.parent.position. This is quite important. What other properties might you want to change? Explosion dot blast pressure. Let's set this to let's try 500. Explosion dot blast. We'll leave that as it is, shall we? And then we'll go ahead and test that. Jump over our tracks we've made so far, and then we get here. If the player jumps over the top of it, that'll be perfectly safe. But if they walk through, there'll be a massive explosion and they'll die. How about we make this a little bit more dramatic? What we could do is we could group all of this and we could call this Danger Shack. And we'll move this out of the model. So the model is only going to be these parts, so it's not got actually any scripts in it. And we'll find that where was that one we just had? This part. We'll rename this one sensor. And in the script for here, how about we put another aspect and we can unanchor all the parts of the little danger shack we just made. So we need a loop for that. We'll put for key object in pairs, and this is going to iterate through a table. And so we need a table of the items that are in the danger shack. So we'll put script dot let's create a new variable first. Local danger shack equals workspace dot danger shack, and then we can say danger shack colon get children, and then within this for loop we can say object dot anchored equals false. And then finally we're going to wait 2 seconds, and then we will say script dot parent destroy, because we don't want to send off another bomb once the shack's already been destroyed, do we? So let's go ahead and test that now. Jump over these spikes, jump over that one, and go into the danger shack. It explodes, and the shack sort of collapses. I think the reason that it hasn't collapsed quite so satisfying is the way it's been built. So how about we change this a little bit? Let's try that again. A much more satisfying explosion. Nice one. Then we can respawn in. The bridge has disappeared. We can easily get over there and over the shack and on to the next part of our level. So there we have it. There's 3 little traps we've made, all using pretty much the exact same script, just used for slightly different applications, all in a few lines, nice and easy. Hopefully that's given you some ideas for traps you can make in your game, and I'll see you in the next episode. See you later.